Hello, friends. Happy Monday. Welcome to our Talk with a Doc. Dr. Joe is going to be joining us tonight, and we have a big topic that we are going to kind of work through. We're also, of course, going to be live answering your questions that you have for Dr. Joe. But the theme of this discussion is really all about accessibility. Hello. Hi, guys. Welcome. Welcome. Dr. Joe's here. Happy Monday. Happy Monday. Dr. Joe. Healthy Divahood. Hi, welcome. Hello. I get there. Good to see you.
Good evening.
I'm so excited to talk about this. Ever since the giveaway, I know you and we have been getting questions about, I'm sorry, free surgery. What? Like,
Yeah.
what is this? Oh, but something is in the air. Something is in the air, and we are gonna have a deep dive into really what accessibility for obesity care and treatment looks like in 2025 and 2026. That's the goal.
Fabulous.
I don't know, fabulous. So, Dr. Joe, if somebody doesn't know you yet, will you take some time and introduce yourself?
Oh, sure. So I'm Joe Cribbins. I'm a bariatric surgeon. I've been doing bariatric surgery for about 25 years, and I'm located just north of Dallas, Texas. I've been a huge BariNation fan from the beginning,
True.
and I'm also the daddy of Marty the Office Corgi, probably most importantly.
Let's be real. I mean, that's
Exactly.
exactly. I mean, that's we're just gonna call it like we see it.
Exactly.
Oh, wonderful. Well, friends, if you are joining this live, we'd love to know in the chat, are you a bariatric patient? Are you post-op? Are you thinking about maybe onboarding treatment, whether that be surgery or medication, or are you just understanding what the landscape looks like? So we'd love to kind of have that context as we get into this conversation. So like Dr. Joe said, longtime supporter of BariNation, always here to advocate for patient and patient need. And we have definitely seen like a shift in the force when it comes to obesity treatment, especially in 2026, right? The very loud presence, right, of obesity medication has been on the forefront of everybody's mind, even though medications that have treated obesity have been around forever. So there just feels like there's this access. I don't know if crisis is the right word, but there's a lot of people who are ready to do something differently about their weight, and they just don't know where to begin because it can seem really overwhelming, right? Like every time you look on a screen, you're hearing something, you're seeing someone. There's a lot of stories out there, and there's a lot of information out there. So I think my first and foremost goal for you, Dr. Joe, was just to give us 1,000 or 30,000 foot view of obesity treatment in 2025 and help us understand why this is the best time that has ever existed to treat the disease of obesity.
The best time. I mean, it's the best time just because we have so many different tools to treat it. And it's been wonderful, over the past whole bunch of years, but especially over the last 5 years or so, that obesity treatment has really sort of come to the forefront of people's minds.
Hmm.
And more people are, trying to take control of their weight and trying to take control of their health and their life. And we just have so many tools right now. There's so many different weight loss procedures that we have. The robotic system has really been a great tool in our that
Hmm.
robotic surgery platform has really kind of like increased a lot of procedures that we're able to do super safely, and really perfect those procedures, get them to work well. And we have all of the newer medications. I mean, like you said, weight loss medications have been around a long time. The trouble was they didn't work particularly well, and they tended to come with a lot of side effects. And the GLPs, I mean, they're great medications. They're not, I don't think that they're great for a person who needs surgery to lose down to like a super healthy weight, but they're a great tool that we use in the office all the time, to kind of supplement.
Yeah, and I'm thankful that you've said that because you and we've kind of had this conversation off screen, if you will, for a year and a half now, right? It's like
Mhm.
these kinds of medications have been around from a very long time, and I've always incorporated them into my practice. It's something that I talk about with my patients. So it really isn't anything new. What has changed is kind of the efficacy of these medications, right? The things that they do, how they work, the power behind them. And then, of course, in this modern media age, you're able to see an ad on every screen that you look at. So now we're seeing
Yeah.
advertisements for these medications, which kind of happened like 10 years ago. I mean, I can remember watching the Super Bowl and only seeing beer and cars. Now it's beer, cars, and meds. So, like things have changed.
Yeah.
So right. So this isn't a conversation about like, well, what's better. The conversation is about obesity treatment has never been more effective, and we hope accessible, right, in any time in human history.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. So when we were doing the giveaway with you, and again, thank you for that because that was freaking rad.
That
You,
was so
you
much fun.
oh my God, it was so much
Seriously.
fun. Oh, I mean, you know that there's L's behind the scenes already working on something for next year.
Oh, of
I know,
course.
of
Yeah.
course.
I still got my antlers.
Perfect. Where I would like to start is during that giveaway, you took an amazing opportunity to let people know that bariatric surgery is not only extremely accessible, but for lack of a better words, free for so many employers of certain companies. And I think when people heard or saw this, they're like, wait, what do you mean free? So will you describe for us this type of benefit that exists for people who work for over 250 companies here in the United States?
For sure. So basically, what we're talking about is a company called Lantern. So Lantern is its old name was Surgery Plus. It's like a side insurance to people's regular insurance. So like your
Okay.
standard Blue Cross, Cigna, that sort of thing. And then over here on the side, a lot of these really great companies have decided to purchase this side insurance that covers, in general, one or two things. Certain orthopedic procedures, but it also covers bariatric surgery. Um, and so basically, if you have a lantern on your policy, it does really a lot of great things. One, it covers weight loss surgery. Two, it covers weight loss surgery usually at no cost, not all the time, but usually at no cost to the patient. Um, and they even will cover, a cost of a flight, a cost of a long car drive, a cost of a hotel if you have to stay for a day or two, both for you and the person that's coming with you to help take care of you. Cost of meals and sort of things like that. So it has really, really opened up the access to weight loss surgery that for a long time with the way that deductibles and out-of-pocket expenses are, even if you have coverage, it's just very difficult for a lot of people to swing.
Yep.
Um, the other thing that's really great about that company is it just doesn't have the hoops. Like your regular, your Blue Crosses and your Cignas, they always say that they don't want to practice medicine, but in reality, they do. I mean, they want to
Mhm.
sort of say you can have this surgery, not that surgery. They want to say you can have this surgery for this reason, but not that reason.
Mhm.
Certain weight requirements and things like that. And it can be difficult, even if people have good coverage, to get them the procedure that's best for them
Mhm.
because it may or may not be covered. The Lantern people have put all of these decisions back into the physician's office when you're sitting there with the patient and you guys are discussing what's going to be the most appropriate procedure for you. They've really sort of like facilitated that conversation.
Yeah.
'Cause it's always hard when you're talking to somebody like, I really wish this surgery was covered for you, but it's not. It's just a better fit for you. So then you have to, do all these calculations. Okay, well, we can do this, but it may not be the exact best thing that we can do. So it's a fantastic program, and they're adding more and more and more companies really pretty quickly.
Well, and I have a sneaking suspicion I know a little bit why, because as a person who has insurance, I'm often frustrated by what is not covered in my policy. So I get that. And I know that there are a lot of people in the United States who do have bariatric coverage, but still need to pay out of pocket for a lot of things. Like for me, my out of pocket cost was $10,000, and we got half of that reduced, but
Yeah.
it was still an out of pocket expense. And I had 9 full months of things that I had to do, right, to meet my insurance requirements and to be prepared for surgery. So people who have the disease of obesity and have made a decision to treat it, right, through surgery
Hmm.
or medications, oftentimes there are a lot of hoops that you have to jump through. And I'm just going to be honest, as somebody living with the disease of obesity, you don't have a lot of energy to jump through the hoops because you're already spending all of your energy just surviving the disease without meaningful treatment. So there's a barrier to care there. When you told me about this supplemental insurance, I had one of these moments, was like, okay, wait, no, 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 like you're speaking fantasy, this is not true, like I'm not understanding this. And then when I got to understand what this supplemental coverage does for patients, i I could not figure out how we could more quickly tell people, because I have seen the list, you guys. The list is long and robust.
Oh,
These
it's
are
great.
companies, right? These are companies that are operating in every 50 states of this country. If you are thinking about having bariatric surgery, even if you don't live in Texas, here's what I want you to do. I want you to send One Operation Changes Life a DM. That is truly where you start. You send them a DM and you say, I'm maybe thinking about surgery. I watched this live with April and Dr. Joe. They talked about free surgery. Is my company a candidate? You start the conversation there. It is the lowest barrier to just better understanding what your options could be. And this is the great thing. This is not about committing to treating it with surgery or medication. This is about you exploring your options as a person that has been fighting the disease of obesity probably for a very long time without any real meaningful medical treatment behind it. It's a simple DM. It's a simple DM.
Yeah. Because it's hard to know. Sometimes it's super easy, and you look at your card, and somewhere on there in little tiny letters it'll say like Lantern or Surgery Plus or something like that. But a lot of times people don't even know that they have the benefit. Like it's not
Yeah.
on the card, and I think so. I think Surgery Plus does a fantastic job at what they do. But at some of these companies, it's hard to make people aware of all the benefits that they have unless they're really kind
Yeah.
of digging deep. So
Yep.
oftentimes people come in for a consultation, and what our practice does is we every single patient who comes through the door, we check all of their benefits, and we kind of see if they have one of these other plans that will make the surgery much lower cost for them. And oftentimes people don't even know, and it's like this great surprise that happy birthday.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Like, happy 2026. You have meaningful treatment for the disease of obesity. Like, it's the gift that keeps on giving. And
Yeah.
so many people don't understand that. And I'm going to speak from my live patient experience. It's a lot of work. You're already mentally exhausted. You are scared about what treatment could look like because you've never lived, let's say, as a bariatric patient, or you've never undergone a major surgery, but you see your weight creeping up. You see little pieces of your life going away because of the disease. And it's kind of like this rock and a hard place. And in our minds, we are telling ourselves, oh God, this is going to be a nightmare. I'm going to have all these appointments and jump through this and jump through that. How am I going to take time off work? Friends, my wish for you today is that you send a DM to One Operation Changes Life, even though that narrative is running rampant in your brain. You can say, yep, nope, I get it. I'm going to send a single DM. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's how all of this starts, because what's on the other side of that DM is a kind, caring, extremely informative, and ready to help team. Even if you are not going to travel to Texas to have surgery, even if your decision is not to onboard with Dr. Joe and his team, that's fine. They're happy to take the time to pass this information on to you, because it's their job to help patients, period,
Yeah.
period. Right? So they are willing to take the time to do this research for you because you deserve treatment. You deserve care. You deserve for this disease that you've been battling to finally get the the respect that it deserves. This disease runs rampant in our lives, and we have to fight it every single day. Our episode last week with Dr. Sharif, one of your robotic colleagues,
Mhm.
she said it beautifully. Obesity is not your fault, but it is your fight. It is your fight. And everybody's got something in life that they are fighting against. And yours probably is the disease of obesity. And you can do something about it in 2026 or even 2025. There's still how many more days left, right? Like you don't have to wait until then. Send the DM tonight. Send the DM tomorrow, but send it. And if you're nervous about it, you guys truly message DM BariNation and say, I'm really nervous about reaching out to Dr. Joe. Okay, that's okay. Yeah, we get that. Would you like us to help you craft a message to him? Would you like to walk through this before you do so? That's literally why we're here. I'm a
Yeah,
bariatric patient. My life has changed for the best. I want every single person to understand what their options are and embrace the life that they've always had inside of them, but the disease is squashing. And that's what we're here to do.
that's for sure. And
That's
everything
for sure.
starts with just one little step.
Everything starts with one little step. One little step. So the next part of this conversation, which is kind of complementary to this, many bariatric patients after surgery experience some type of weight recurrence, and weight recurrence is the correct medical term for what we as patients call regain. Right? It's when we get to a low weight and then we notice that our weight is creeping back up again. Why, Dr. Joe, does this happen?
Well, it could be a myriad of factors. One, all these surgeries kind of like accommodate with some time. At the beginning, we make everything very tight, very small. The procedures are very powerful metabolically in the beginning,
Mhm.
and then over time, your stomach needs to kind of like accommodate, stretch a little bit to get like a maintain your weight sort of size, and all of those good hormonal effects that you get with the surgery, whether it's the appetite control through the hormones or some of the malabsorption. I mean, all of that kind of dissipates just a little bit with some time. It never gets back to where it was, but the further that you get out from surgery, it can sometimes just get a little bit harder. Um,
Yes.
so that's where a conversation with your team comes in, and you kind of pick apart, like, what's the trouble? Is this a surgery factor and you need some sort of revision? Is this a patient factor and we need to kind of refocus on some good habits, whether it's the nutrition, the macros, the exercise, the water, the sleep, all those sort of things that are kind of on the patient side. Or is one of these new medications a good idea to try?
Hmm.
But obesity, just like a lot of diseases that we treat, it's a chronic disease. It's a multifactorial chronic disease, with a so we have to treat it as such, just as we treat, like, diabetes or something like that.
Yep. Yep. The three powerful words that I think one of your colleagues said on a podcast with us was obesity is a lifelong, chronic, and the missing word, progressive disease. So there is no cure for obesity. Many people can onboard bariatric surgery and their weight will stabilize, right? They're metabolically well, and nothing more is needed, right? That treatment is progressing with the disease at the same time, and we see, right,
Mhm.
similar effects. Other people like myself, at about year two and a half, three, really nothing had changed in my bariatric diet, in my movement, right? But I was experiencing weight reoccurrence, and it's terrifying. And even at the time, I didn't understand this progressive nature. I was doing everything right, but I was aging and the disease was progressing with me.
Mhm.
And just like, let's say you bring in a brand new outfit into your life and you absolutely love it and it looks perfect. And then a couple of years later, it doesn't start to look the same, right? It fades, it just gets worn. It's not the same. That's kind of a way that this disease progresses through our life. And if we are not constantly refreshing the tools and the strategies that we are using to treat this chronic disease, it's going to continue. So it's moving on, but you're staying the same, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of not to be expected, but when Dr. Joe and his team says like, look, man, I am your doctor for life. I am your care team for life. What they're saying is that they understand this disease will continue to progress. And as it progresses in your life, they're there for you to continue to help you understand how you treat it. And I pinned somebody's comment here because I really want to talk about this. As this person said, right, I'm experiencing some regain, and I'm a little bit frustrated, and I'm scared, having a hard time getting it off. Right, what can I do? I think the current trend right now is, well, you go on GLP-1 medications. That's the immediate answer because that's what we're all seeing all day long in our feed. But GLP-1 medications are not necessarily the right move for somebody. They could be out of reach financially. You could not be a responder to those medications. You could have other medical conditions where this medication and that medication, right? Like, and my worry for people and for patients is that when we hit this stage of weight recurrence and we realize I can't access a GLP-1 medication, then we're just like, oh, well, see, like surgery is not going to work. I'm always going to be fat. Like you just instantly go to this place of fear and panic because you can't do this one thing. But that also gives us permission, in a way, all or nothing thinking, to go, if I can't get this one thing, then none of the other things matter, right?
Yeah.
And that's scary. So, from your perspective, how would you counsel or how would you help a patient who's in this scenario, experiencing some weight recurrence, can't access a GLP-1 medication?
I would say do the things that are in your control. I mean, really get with the team and focus on the things that you can control. Like if you can't have a GLP-1 medication for whatever reason, well, you can't bump up your exercise. You can like go back and work with your nutrition. You can start some food tracking and things like that. Or, if it's a more significant problem, there may be a procedure that's the best solution for you. Because oftentimes the surgeries are actually a lot cheaper than the medications, actually, after a period of time. So like some sort
Hmm.
of revision procedure based on what your BMI and your, ongoing situation is, maybe
Yeah.
the better option for you. But you just don't give up hope. And exactly what you said. That's why, bariatric surgery is not a speed date. It's more of a marriage. I'm your bariatric surgeon for life. All bariatric surgeons should be your bariatric surgeon for life. Just because the disease is so chronic, and people do have an ebb and flows of things are going absolutely great, and then there could be a thing, whether it's a different surgery, you had back surgery, a pregnancy, something else going on in life that you're going to need to sort of like extra help for this period of time until you can get back on track. So always go back to the team.
Yep. Always go back to the team. And again, if you have lost touch with your team, or let's say your insurance changed like mine, my initial team is not available to me anymore just because my insurance has changed. Now 2025 and 2026 can be the moment that you re-engage with meaningful care, that you find a new center, a new surgeon, you onboard that team. And modern life allows us to work with teams that are maybe not in our physical location, right? Let's say that you're listening to Dr. Joe and you're like, man, what he is saying, I get, I understand. I think he would get me. I think this is a safe move for me. Dr. Joe and his team are available to help you, even though you don't live in the state of Texas. So going back to what I said earlier, one DM is all it takes to start this process. It's as simple as that, because it is, we are too old. We are in the year 2025. We have no more room for inaccessible care when so much accessible care can be at our fingertips, but we're psyching ourselves out over what it's going to take or how we're going to get there. It's a simple DM. You probably send 20 DMs a day. Just make one of them to this guy and just say, hey, Dr. Joe, I'm struggling. I'm so frustrated. I don't know where to go. I'm worried about this. I'm worried about that. Yeah, look at this face, you guys. Look at this smile. This could be the guy. This could be the guy who you get to see on the other side of that video call. He's going to be the guy that goes, God, I am really sorry. This disease is awful. You've shared some personal things with me. Yeah, no wonder why you're feeling a little lost and alone. The economy sucked. Everybody's feeling it. You know, our health changes, grief and loss changes who we are as a person. All of the things that you go through, that I go through as a human being, are impacted by the disease of obesity. Remember what Dr. Joe said earlier? It's a multifaceted disease. That means obesity gets its little claws in every single facet of your life. And it is just looking for an opportunity to go, oh, I can really do some damage right here because this is already not good. And I'm just gonna weasel my way in there. This is what the disease does. I am not making this up. I am sharing my lived experience with you. I have been successful along my journey. I'm 6.5 years post-op because I have people like Dr. Joe, right, who is in my corner. I have a community of people just like me who are experiencing life, and we get to talk about it. And I have insurance. I have things that I can do, and we all have something that we can do that's in our control. And even if, let's say, you don't have insurance and you're absolutely panicked about how you're going to treat this, send us or send Dr. Joe a DM. That's still where you start. That's still where you start.
Yeah.
The last question I had to ask you, Dr. Joe, what is your hope for obesity care, obesity access in 2026? And what can you do? What's within your control as an ASMBS amazing recognized surgeon to help us all reach that goal? Does that kind of make sense?
Oh, I
And
I just really hope that a lot of the things that the ASMBS at their, at the top levels, are trying to do are going to go through. I mean, they're really trying to increase the access of care because there's just so many insurance companies with either exclusions or too many hoops or so many catch 22s. Or you can have surgery once but not twice. There's all of these like catch 22s that are in all of these policies. And it's just not fair, you know? It's not fair. Like if you have appendicitis, and you go to the emergency room and you have insurance, your insurance is going to pay for it. If you have the disease of obesity, it's not always going to pay for it. So,
yes,
I really think at these sort of like top levels, of government
yes.
and that sort of thing. It just needs to, and it's definitely more of a focus than it used to be. But I really would like to see some headway in 2026 for people.
Yep. As would we. And I'm going to answer the second part of my question for you because, guys, FYI, I don't send any of these questions ahead to Dr. Joe. He literally pops on the screen and he's like, God, please be kind. Please be kind. Please. Yeah. And that one was a total curveball. But here's what I know you and your team are going to do in 2026 to help improve access to care. You are going to make sure that as many people as possible know about the amazing insurance benefits that can provide people with free bariatric surgery. You're going to keep doing that.
Oh,
You are going to keep showing up on these social platforms with BariNation, with other organizations, and you're going to talk continuously about the pervasive nature of the disease of obesity and what we can all do that's in our control to fight it. You're going to do that, and
yes,
you are
we are.
going to continue to treat every patient and potential patient that you come across with dignity and with grace, and you're going to be hopeful, and you're going to be real. You are going to have the difficult conversations in a kind of incompassionate way, and you're just going to continue to pour your heart and soul into this community, because the more patients who understand that this type of care is available, and if they find out their insurance doesn't cover it, we're just not going to take it anymore. Like angry emails, right, showing up at board meetings, making the phone calls, we're going to call the senators because it's almost 2026. Obesity has been a clinically diagnosed disease for 15, 16, 17 years. Like, it's a disease. And yet it continues to get the shaft every single time. And yet it's a disease that impacts so many people, not only here in the United States, but globally. So if all of these organizations and these governments wants to say like, well, we're in it to make sure our people are healthy and that our people can, participate in life and they're there to work, great. Then why don't you help them actually treat the thing that's keeping them out of their own life? That'd be great. That'd be great.
I agree.
So, so I had to answer your own question there a little bit, but I mean,
That's
sometimes
okay.
yeah,
It is actually a huge focus because we've really been trying to figure out how to let people know. I mean, we're doing a
yes,
lot of sort of we're doing a lot of stuff on social and stuff like that we have planned, and we're going to try and do a lot of sort of like grassroots kind of stuff at all of these different companies to kind of make people aware of their benefits
yep.
because it's one of those things. If you have a golden egg and you don't know about it, then it's not worth very much. So
Right, exactly, exactly. And again, 2025, 2026. No, we are over this disease not being treated with the reverence that it deserves. And we're all going to do our part to make sure that people know that, right? You might have benefits that you don't even know of yet. And a simple DM triggers a simple conversation that just gives you more information about what your options are. Because, friend, I sat fighting this disease on my own for 20 years and it freaking sucked. It was awful. Every day was filled with shame and blame and guilt. Every decision I made about every single thing I ate or drank was scrutinized to the nth degree. It was hell on earth. I just didn't know it. Now that I'm 6.5 years post-op, I have gained back all parts of my life that the disease has taken from me. I can be more fully present. I'm not as 24/7 focused on the disease. I've put the disease on notice, and my disease doesn't like it. Well, too damn bad. Like this is the step that we have to take to treat it. And I know that you can do it because I did it, and you and I are the same person. So if I did it, you can do it too. And Dr. Joe, his team, BariNation, is here to help you do just that right now. Not even in 2026, right now.
yeah,
DM, DM. All right, my friend, we are at our time. If you guys submitted questions, I didn't even pay attention to them. But here's what I'd like you to do. If you do have a question for Dr. Joe, please send it to us in a DM or send it right to One Operation Changes Life. He'll answer it or his team will answer it. Or if you send it to us, I'll send it to Dr. Joe. He'll make an awesome video and then we can share it out with everybody because sharing is caring. And we know that you just might have a question that you really want to ask, but you don't want to ask it publicly. That's totally great. Send it to
yep.
us as a DM. We
I
won't
don't mind
include
at
your
all.
name.
Just
Nope.
send it right to me.
Yep. Send it right to him. Uh, Dr. Joe's social team, my friends, is basically a 23-hour operation. It's his
Yeah,
wife named Heather, and Heather is here to help the people. So the team is there and ready to help.
for sure.
Awesome. My friend, thank you so much for joining me tonight. Yeah, go for it.
Thank you as always.
It was a wonderful time. Share this recording so other people know that it's out there. And like I said, send that DM. Send that DM. One Operation Changes Life. Awesome, guys. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We'll see you soon.
Bye bye.
Bye.